Alright guys, welcome back to Saber running out on us. Let's see how it goes. Knowing of course would change nothing. The man's origin is unknown, and even his existence is uncertain. His story was told only by word of mouth, and there is perhaps only one person in the world who knows the true identity of the man who was hailed as the greatest swordsman in the world. The man who never left a mark in history but was Sasaki Kojiro's archenemy, and the only one to have ever defeated him. So how can this man be called a hero? The assassin, Sasaki Kojiro, is a presence far removed from Saber herself, who among heroic spirits could know the abilities of a swordsman who could not himself normally be a heroic spirit. Two things are clear for her. One is that the man before her is an enemy, and the other is that he has willingly identified himself.
参りました。名乗られたからには、こちらも名乗り返すのは騎士の礼です。
Saber's voice is grave. Revealing her true name poses an immense risk. She cannot reveal her true name even under torture, nor does she have any intention of doing so. However, this is only in the name of her pursuit of victory. For this reason, she cannot tarnish her knight's honor.
小次郎と言いましたね。アサシンのサーバントよ。私は。
よい。名乗れば名乗り返さねばならぬ相手であったか。いや、無粋な真似をしたのは私であった。
The man descends the stairs gracefully. Assassin confronts Saber, taking slow steps down the stairs.
そのようなことで敵を知ろうとは思わぬ。我らにとって敵を知るにはこの刀だけで十分であろ
う。Assassin over here's got some honor, man. Gotta respect that.
違うか、セイバーのサーバントよ。そう驚くこともあるまい。貴様の持つそれが何であるかは分からぬが、身にまとった殺気は剣士のもの。目がくらむほどの美しい剣気。その貴様がセイバー以外の何者であろうか。
He takes a step closer. Assassin descends the stone steps and he points his sword at Saber.
神名など知らずともよい。ただ、セイバーというサーバントがこの刃に敗れるだけの話だ。言葉で語るべきことなど皆無。もっとより、サーバントとはそういうものであろ
う。The swordsman laughs joyfully.
なるほど。それは確かにその通りです。
As Saber speaks, she readies her sword.
それでよい。では、果たし合おうぞ、セイバー。サーバント随一と言われるその剣に、しかと見せてもらわねばな。
A silver light leaps, solid and soft. The battle between two very different swordsmen begins under the moonlight. Oh, new servant data added. New weapon data added. Oh, time to check that out. Alright, give it a few minutes, guys. I want to check out the servant data of Assassin. Oh, well, that makes sense why his Jody's nearly maxed out to an A+. His luck I didn't know would be an A. His con is E. A lot of these servants' cons are E's. Strength is a C. That's not bad because he can make up for it with his agility. Alignment is neutral evil. Hero info. Oh, he has a hero info because he was open about it. While his existence is met with suspicion, his name remains widely known as that of a peerless swordsman. He was a beautiful swordsman who wielded a 3-foot-long sword, Monohashizao. He is said to be born in the Eiroku era and became famous during the 1605 to 1612, but the truth is not clear. The books that feature Sasaki Kojiro have many contradicting time periods because his name was not even written down in the Book of Five Rings, written by Miyamoto Musashi, his most worthy opponent. According to the records, Kojiro is from Echizen province and studied under Toda Seigen. He favored the longsword, and after defeating the master's younger brother, named himself Ganryu. After he went around various lands as a martial artist and developed the secret sword technique Swallow Reversal that can kill even a flying swallow in the Nishiki River in the Suo province. Then, after terrifying swordsmen in different lands, he died fighting Miyamoto Musashi at Funashima, what would later become Ganryujima, in order to maintain the honor of the domain he served. Because of his longsword, he could not fight while holding the sheath and discarded it in front of Musashi. Musashi believed to have said the famous line, "Kojiro has been defeated," after seeing that. Miyamoto Musashi holds the record for being one of the best swordsmen in Japan. Sasaki Kojiro was viewed as a worthy opponent, but his real image is as uncertain as a reflection of the moon and water. People say there was once someone like that, but the legend of Sasaki Kojiro that has been passed down to the present can only be that of a great but fictional swordsman that people fabricated. Interesting. Present concealment is D. Gets rid of one's presence as a servant, fit for covert actions. Perfect skill for an assassin at that. Mind's eye is a false A. Resistance to modifications caused by visual disturbances. It is the natural ability to predict danger, also known as a sixth sense or premonition. It also seems like he can dispel illusions then, if he can if he can resist visual disturbances. No noble phantasm. Okay, well then we'll check out his weapon. The laundry drying pole. Yeah, oh my god. Look at this sword. Okay. Yeah, a long sword said to have been wielded by the great swords master Sasaki Kojiro. The laundry drying pole is only a nickname. The sword's real name is unknown. Its length is recorded to be over 3 shaku. 1 shaku equals 30 centimeters, but the blade assassin wields in this story is a non-standard 5 shaku sword closer to a spear in length. In combat, such long reach is itself advantageous, but it seems absurdly impractical for a katana. Well, it's not as impractical if you're skilled enough to wield it like this guy can, so... The laundry drying pole would be effective enough in a one-on-one fight, but its length and weight would disadvantage its wielder. Surely there are no swordsmen able to handle this long sword to a satisfactory level, save for Assassin, whose esoteric techniques have exceeded human limits. Very true indeed. I wake up to a searing pain in my chest. It feels like I've just had a bad dream. My heart feels like it's burning. Actually, it feels more heat from outside has been forced into my body. I doubt myself briefly, but before I can think of what it might be, I find myself rushing outside. I opened the sliding screen door to Saber's room. That's right, buddy. She left us. No, there's no doubt. If she's not here, she went to Ryodo Temple on her own. I'm so angry my head's starting to hurt. I didn't tell her I wasn't going to fight. I just didn't want her to get hurt like that again. There's no point in fuming here. I need to hurry to Ryodo Temple. I can't let Saber fight alone. Well, I don't know what good I can do her, but if I get there, maybe I can do something. I run. I don't even take the time to change. Out front, I grab a bike and pedal as fast as I can. I pedal down the hill without braking. It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryodo Temple, even if I rush. I don't know how long it's been since Saber left, but I need to get to her as fast as I can. Interlude again. The blades cross. The edges of both swords come into contact again and again. Stroke after stroke. Sword and katana alike spark as they strike and parry. Several dozen exchanges like this later, and neither opponent has changed position. Assassin standing higher on the steps holds his ground. Saber, who is trying to advance up the stone steps, can't get any closer to Assassin. Over time, she bleeds more and more energy. One of Saber's main attempts at rushing in. Assassin effortlessly swings his long blade, fully 1.5 meters, and halts Saber's advance. No, he's not simply preventing an advance. If Saber's blade is lightning, Assassin's katana is a hurricane. Though Assassin may be no match for her in strength or speed, the flexible trajectory of his blade sweeps aside Saber's every attack. The ricocheting katana gains speed and flips back towards Saber's neck like a gust of wind. Even as Saber dodges the blow by only a hair's breadth, the long katana flicks back toward her, giving her now a moment's rest. In contrast to Saber's straight sword, Assassin's blade is curved. Assassin's cutting edge is graceful, but also draws a long extended arc. He shouldn't be able to match Saber's sword as it moves in a straight line, but he somehow cancels out that difference. She suddenly stops. Her blade isn't moving fast enough to block Assassin's counterattack. She falls back a pace, knowing it's the only way she can avoid the incoming strike. Assassin's katana traces a fascinatingly beautiful arc, but at the same time it's so fast that it's nearly impossible to follow. Is this seeming impossibility owed to Assassin's skill, or is it owed instead to Saber being at a disadvantageous position in their battle? Unable to reach a clear conclusion, Saber continues dodging Assassin's strikes and turns aside the blade as it arcs toward her neck with her own weapon. The next thing she knows, she has retreated a few more steps down the stairs. That's the extent of his long katana's reach. It'd be easy to rush up close to him once she sweeps his sword aside, but for some reason she just can't do it. It must be owed to the enemy's superb skills and her own position below him, which puts her at a disadvantage. Saber bites her lip, thinking she wouldn't have had a hard time against that long katana if they were on flat ground.
さすがにやりにくいな。見えない剣というものがこれほど厄介とは思わなんだ。
Assassin is unmoved. He is fighting purely to defend. He need not chase after a retreating Saber, nor does he have any reason to give up the advantage of a higher ground.
見れば刀を見ることさえ初めてであろう。私の剣筋は邪道でな。波のものならば、まず一撃で首を落とす。それをここまで防ぐとは嬉しいぞ、セイバー。加えて打ち込みも素晴らしい。その勝負でこれほどの剣撃を行うからには、さぞ鍛え抜かれた全身であろう。
Assassin watches Saber, his posture relax, perhaps simply because he needn't go on the offensive. The tip of his blade wavers, losing its strength. But Saber cannot seize the opportunity. The man is not holding a stance. A long katana like that can only be wielded as long as the wielder is able to swing the sword from any position.
どうした？これで終わりというわけではあるまい。その不可視の剣、見かけ倒しではなかろう。
いつまでも減らず口を。
The sword and katana clash.
よし、当たりだ。
The long sword stops mid-swing. Assassin grins, glancing at his katana where it stopped the invisible sword, then parries again. While Saber catches the flash coming at her neck. Even Saber knows. She's been able to block Assassin's unfamiliar sword work thanks to her invisible blade. Her invisible sword can confuse the opponent's senses both defensively and defensively. Assassin not following through on his attack is proof of this. Not knowing how long Saber's sword is makes it too dangerous for Assassin to close in on her. If Assassin were to step in to attack Saber, he'll do so when Saber tries to smash Assassin's forehead. That attack. Assassin dodges it completely as he takes just a step back.
よし、これで目測はついたな。 刀身3尺余り、幅は4寸といったところか。形状は、セイバーの名の通り、典型的な西洋の剣だな。
Assassin may have spoken calmly, but his exceptional skill at appraising the blade is clear. Saber's strike had been so fast that even with her sword visible, it would have been almost impossible to see. And yet, not only has he managed to defend himself from the invisible blade, he's also figured out its size and shape.
信じられない。何の魔術も使わず、満足に打ち合ってもいないというのに、私の剣を測ったのですか、あなたは。
ほう、驚いたか。だが、こんなものは大道芸であろうよ。邪剣使いゆえ、このような技ばかり上手くなる。
なるほど。私の一撃をまともに受けず、ただ払うだけがあなたの戦いだった。邪剣使いとは、その逃げ腰から来た俗称ですか。
いやいや、まともに打ち合わぬ無礼は許せ。何しろこの長刀だ。打ち合えば折れるは必定。お主としては力勝負こそが基本なのだろうが、こちらはそうはいかぬ。その剣と組み合い、力を競い合うことはできん。もとより刀というものはそういうものだ。西洋の剣はその重さと力で物を叩き切る。だが我らの刀は速さと技で物を断ち切るのだ。戦いが噛み合わぬのは道理であろう。まあしかしこれではいささか興がそがれる。もう良い頃合いだぞ、セイバー。いい加減手の内を隠すのはやめにしろ。
アサシン、私があなたに手加減しているとでも。
していないとでも言うのか。何のつもりかは知らんが、剣を鞘に収めたまま戦とは舐められたものだ。私程度では本気を出すまでもないということか。ほう、それでも応じないという顔だな。よかろう。ならばここまでだ。お前が出し惜しみをするのなら、先に我が秘剣をお見せしよ
う。And with that, the swordsman with the long katana drifts down next to Saber. For an assassin to give up his advantageous position is as good as inviting defeat. He may be a superb swordsman, but it was the landscape of their battleground that gave him the advantage. If the two are to fight on level ground, Saber should have no trouble repelling Assassin's attack and taking his head and then and there. Assassin should know this as well. So why?
構えよ。でなければ死ぬぞ、セイバー。
Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness in his voice, for he is speaking the truth. Assassin descending the steps has now put her in an advantageous position. Her intuition, which has enabled her to triumph in so many battles, warns her of her mistake. She readies her invisible sword. There's no room to hesitate. What matters is that she has to attack with her sword before Assassin swings his long katana. Oh man. He's getting serious. Roughly 3 meters separates the two. He readies himself. The stance he takes now is one he has not taken in their battle so far. Saber charges. The long katana is meaningless now. The moment she draws near Assassin, the katana will become a liability to him. And yet, such logic means little to a swordsman like him. Lightning strikes. Faster even than Saber's blade, the demonic blow strikes down in a single straight line. But it's not as if Saber cannot block such an attack. She quickly raises her sword to defend, repelling Assassin's attack. Even Assassin would be left open after an attack like that is turned outside. In that split-second interval, as Saber attempts to cut through Assassin's stomach. Swiftly trusting in her instincts, Saber rolls down the stone steps. She rolls away as if she's fleeing. She makes no effort even to soften her landing. All Saber does is frantically hurl herself down the stairs, slowing for nothing. Smart move, too. Saber stops rolling and gets to her feet. Above her on the stairs, she sees the swordsman standing at his ease.
ほう、かわしたか我が被験。さすがはセイバー。ツバメなどとは格が違う。
信じられない。今のはまさか。
何？そう大した芸ではない。たまさかツバメを切ろうと思いつき、身についただけのものだからな。
He raises his long katana up high. The motion is done as if to mimic the demonic sword's motions he demonstrated earlier to intimidate Saber.
見えるか、セイバー。ツバメはな、風を受けて刀を避ける。早かろうが遅かろうが関係はない。どのような刀であろうと、大気を震わさずには触れぬであろう。ゆえに、どのような一撃であれ、ツバメを断つことはできなかった。所詮刀など一本線に過ぎぬ。縦横に空を行くツバメを捕らえられぬは道理よな。ならば逃げ道を囲めばいいだけのこと。一の太刀でツバメを襲い、風を読んで避けるツバメの逃げ道を続く二の太刀で取り囲む。しかし連中は素早くてな。この長刀ではまず二の太刀が間に合わん。ことを成したければ一息のうちほぼ同時に行わなければならなかったが、そのような真似は人の技ではない。叶うことなどあるまいと承知したものだが、あいにくと他にやることもなかったのでな。一年寄進に通じるというが、気がつけばこの通りよ。ツバメを断つというくだらぬ思いつきは、複数の太刀筋で牢獄を作り上げる秘剣となった。
Saber cannot help but disagree with his matter-of-fact narrative. It is untrue. His technique is not as simple as he claims. Execute two attacks simultaneously? Impossible. The two blades struck at exactly the same time. In that moment, there existed two separate katana.
奇襲はゼルレッジ。何の魔術も使わず、ただ剣技だけで宝具の域に達したサーバント。
It is most certainly to be admired. That single blow made it very clear. Sasaki Kojiro does not possess a noble phantasm as heroic spirits typically do. All he has is his magical sword and its sheer power, reaching the realm of the gods. What's astonishing is that this man, a mere human, has managed to stand on equal ground with a heroic spirit who possesses a noble phantasm.
だが、足場が悪かったな。ツバメ返しの奇跡は本来3つ。もうわずかに広ければ、横の一撃も加えられたのだが。
そうでしょうね。そうでなければ不完全です。すべてが同時であるなら、ニノたちはどうしても遅くなる。それを補うために横方向への離脱を阻む3の太刀があるはずだ。
いい飲み込みの速さだ。だからこそ我が秘剣をかわしたか。素晴らしいぞセイバー。このような属性に呼び出された我が身を呪ったが、それも今宵まで生前では叶わなかった立ち合い。我が秘剣を存分に振る舞える殺し合いができるのならば、呼び出された甲斐があるというもの。
Assassin readies his sword again and descends the stone steps. He must be after Saber's head. Saber's not confident she will be able to dodge that secret technique again. Like Lancer's Gaybulg, Assassin's Swallow Reversal is a technique that one cannot allow the wielder to use. Except unlike Gaybulg, against which one can defend once they understand what it is and know that it will strike at the heart. There is no defense against Assassin's secret technique. It cannot be evaded even when no one knows what it is, or even when one knows what it is. If there is a defense, it lies in preventing him from using the attack. The only way to defeat him is to deliver a devastating blow before Assassin can unleash his secret technique.
なるほど。確かに手加減など許される相手ではなかったようだ。
Oh, the gloves are coming off. Saber drops the tip of her invisible sword as if driving into the ground and glares up at Assassin as he approaches.
おお、そうか。ようやくその気になったか、セイバー。
Assassin stops descending the steps and readies his secret technique once more. Saber looks at him bravely.
不満がないのはこちらも同じだ。我が一撃受けきれるか、アサシンのサーバント。
Saber releases her own restraints. The air trembles. As if responding to her will, her sword releases a torrential gust of wind. The gale-force winds released from Saber's sword are extraordinary. Even the thick trees on either side of the temple gates creak and groan. So strong is the wind, it all but explodes outward from her blade. The atmosphere sealed within is released and roars outward in all directions. Saber's sword releases a gust of wind that could easily carry off a human being. This is her blade power. The invisible air is, as the name implies, a sword that has sealed up wind. The sword, sheathed up in compressed wind, reflects and refracts light to give it the appearance of being invisible. This is what happens when the wind is released. The released air seeks escape and dissipates into its surroundings in chaotic gusts. During that time, her sword's commanding magecraft allows her to freely manipulate the raging wind. As Saber possesses incredible amounts of magical energy, she should be able to maintain the bounded field for a few minutes. The truth of this is made apparent by the fact that her sword, even after releasing so much energy, remains invisible.
さながら台風といったところだが、しかし。
The howling winds do not die down. The unleashed winds are about to engulf Assassin.
この程度のはずがない。その奥にあるもの。見せてもらうぞ、セイバー。
Assassin closes in despite the raging blinding wind. Saber's arm moves. The wind-infused blade roars, readying itself to intercept Assassin, who advances calmly, slowly in spite of the gale-force wind, strong enough to prevent most people from even approaching. Wait, this data might be about Saber now. Alright, hold on, let's do a quick check. Saber. Alright, your agility. You would think she would have at least one A move here. One A stat. Alright, no hero info or skill. Noble Phantasm. Bear of the Wind. I already know about this. Intuition ability to constantly sense the best course of action for oneself during battle. Is it the weapon or no? It's a servant. Could it be Assassin has more? Hold on. Oh, here we go. He has more here. Vitrify B+, a mind as serene as a clear mirror or still water. A mental defense mechanism that nullifies interference with the mind. Since he is not an assassin, he cannot use the presence concealment assassin ability, but he can perform presence concealment in the form of a martial arts blank mind slate. That's interesting. And then he has knowledge of the Soa B, a special skill where the hitting accuracy does not go down no matter how many times the same move is used on the same opponent. The attacks can no longer be seen through. What? Are you serious? What the hell's that? When I reach Ryodo Temple, I'm greeted by the sound of the air rushing at me like a typhoon.
セイバーだよな、あそこにいるの。
At the top of the stairs in front of the temple gates, I see an armored figure who must be Saber fighting someone wearing a kimono.